Alright, welcome to another B-Sides episode. This is a side project from the podcast, the main podcast. Uncensored, unedited, no commercial scripts, just me and my phone, 100% raw. So, this whole idea about what is Conquer Studios, I was actually... over the past few months, I've had people say, I've always wanted to put a podcast together, but just never know how to, or I've had Facebook messages, or I've had emails about how to put a podcast together, the equipment that I use, so that's why I kind of created a blog as well. But I was like, you know what, let's just create a service that can be an addition to the shop that we have where our apparel is and where Amanda Ruler, where her project is as well. So I said to myself, why don't we just create something? I've had this idea since January 2016, and I never really thought more about it until the wheels started going, and then Conquer Studios came about. So what we're offering in Conquer Studios, we're offering... So, again, like I said, it's hard to create a podcast. It's hard to create content, especially if you don't want to put the X amount of dollars into buying all of the equipment. So that's why we created from Conquer Studios, where you can actually use my gear for a rental fee, and you can have everything. And not only that, I can actually be your audio engineer. I can be the guy behind the scenes that doesn't have anything to do with the show. All I do is press buttons, make sure levels are okay, set up before the show and pack down after the show, and have conversations back and forth with you about how it's all going to work and whatnot. What else we offer is podcast mentoring. So I know there's a mentor is such a strong word, but I don't know another word to kind of call it. So, podcast mentoring. We can do one-on-ones over Skype, in person, through email, through text, through FaceTime. We could do one-on-one chats about if you're wanting to start your podcast, what are the ideas that you want to kind of hash out first, because for me, it's easy to jump onto a podcast and kind of just talk, like some episodes I've just done by myself. But it's creating the subject matter and creating the topics, creating maybe external and internal processes of what that subject matter will be. Like, kind of what I mean by that is playing devil's advocate. So trying to hash out ideas. So that's where I can come in and we can talk about what's good, what's bad, and then we can kind of come up with an action plan, like a blueprint, before you start the damn thing. And what else? What else is going on? And public speaking. So, public speaking. I enjoy doing it, to be honest. It's a good chance to tell my story. When I say my story, I feel like it's just life. You're talking about your life for a long period of time. So, I can talk about, what it was like growing up as a single kid, with, a loving family, with who was a single parent to me, being my mother, and obviously my nan and my uncle being the sole, foundation of my growing up, and of course my cousins as well, being Ricky and Robbie. But yeah, I wanted to create this Conquer the Studios so you can use my gear, you can pick my brain for knowledge, and that's literally why I started it, is because of the demand that I have been asked since we started this damn thing, since we started the podcast. People have asked me in the past, how do you start a podcast? Like, it's easy. I use my iPad and then you figure it out as you go. But obviously there are some people out there who aren't as technically savvy, and they do kind of need some guidance. And honestly, for me, for the background that I had with being in music and being in bands for several years, it's second nature, putting plugs into, males into females, putting things into mixers, making sure that the audio is correct. Having that knowledge on top of the knowledge that I learned through the mighty Google, If I had a question, I would always ask Google for for the answer. But don't get me wrong, that took hours and hours of filtering through bullshit and filtering through everything that costs like $200 or $300. And the problem with that is that you want studio quality straight away when, you know, you're on a budget. So, but yeah, that's what Conquer Studios is. That's what I'm all about. That's what's coming out on May 1st, this coming Sunday, and the prices will be available on the website too. So yeah, check it out. Check all of those good things out. Oh yeah, by the way, if you want to support the podcast, you can do so by going to honorandconquer.com, scroll all the way to the bottom of the page, click our Amazon wishlist link, and you can purchase items that we need for the show. And also, if you do your shopping like you normally would on Amazon, you can go to our website as well, go to the bottom of the page, click the affiliate link, and then purchase your items like you normally would through that link. We get a little bit of a kickback as well, which is nice. Oh yeah, okay, goodbye.